Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us from wherever you are today. This is the official opening of the Vetaphone showroom. My name is Nick Coombs, and I have the pleasure of hosting today's event and welcoming you to the Vetaphone headquarters here in Denmark. Today's program is designed to give you a background to the company and its technology, explain the reason behind the creation of this new showroom, walk you around the exhibits here behind me, and describe what they do, and to tell you as customers how you can make best use of these new facilities here. We'll end up with a Q&A session. So let's start at the very beginning of the company. It was back in the 1950s that Werner Eisby, the company founder, invented a process that allows inks, lacquers, and other liquids to adhere to non-absorbent substrates. This was important at the time because it was when plastic was becoming more important in the packaging industry in the years following the Second World War. That process, which we all know now as corona treatment, has become the globally accepted standard of our industry, and over the intervening years, Vetaphone has continued to pioneer surface treatment to match the growing demands of the printed packaging industry and the increasing variety and complexity of the substrates that it uses. Today, the company is acknowledged as the prime source worldwide of technical know-how and expertise in surface treatment across industry sectors that include narrow and wide web printing, converting, laminating, and extruding, and it has installations all around the world. To serve its existing and potential customer base, it has a sales and support network that covers more than 60 countries across all of the continents. And today's opening of the showroom facility here in Kolding is a significant element in helping the company to close the information loop. I'd like to start by showing you a short video about the company, its technology, and its people.
Since we invented the corona process in 1951, we have been committed to pioneer surface treatment technology. It is part of our DNA. It all began with a challenge to solve a specific problem, and that same desire to provide the best solution is still driving our business. Today, we are proud that the Vetaphone brand stands for all that is best in the world of surface treatment. Our knowledge of surface treatment is second to none. This allows us to design and develop technology that meets the constantly changing demands of the printing, converting, and extrusion industries, helping our customers to future-proof their business capabilities. We believe the best way of supporting you, whether end user or OEM, is by sharing this knowledge. While technology is our business, we know people play a vital role as well. Therefore, we strive to build long-term partnerships and provide cutting-edge technology that can fully prepare your business for changes in market demands. We promise you that by working closely together, we will provide you with the best solution for your business. When it comes to surface treatment, we are the first and only choice you will ever need to make. Contact us to learn more.
Before we give you a virtual guided tour of the showroom here and the exhibits and explain what each of them does, I'd like to tell you how the showroom came into existence and why Vetaphone have it here. And I'd like to introduce you to the two Eisby brothers who now run the company. Frank, who's the CEO, and Jan, who is the CSO. Frank, I'll start with you if I may. I know you're very proud of the fact you're celebrating 75 or 70 years this year, and that Vetaphone has always been at the forefront of the market. Why do you need a showroom now?
Well, Nick, I think there's been a fundamental change in how capital goods are bought and sold. And I think it's a trend that has been there for some years. But I think issues involving with trade during the pandemic has changed things, and it certainly has put us forward and made us focus on what should be the next level. That's where we are now.
So how has Vetaphone responded to this challenge, would you say?
You know, the face-to-face meeting, they disappeared overnight. So we had to adapt our way of working, all our activity. That is on top of what we normally do, because we are proud of being an open approach and knowledge sharing company, and we have extended with both webinars and online presentation. But it's all about information and training.
Would you say that the COVID pandemic and the restrictions that it's placed has changed the sales dynamic, sales and purchasing dynamic of investment?
I think it has. I think it's all coming back also to the internet. I mean, doing the research on the internet nowadays is easy. You can do that at time and a place where it's most convenient. It's all about being informed. It's all about making judgments before you go out and make your investment. But actually, technology is more complex nowadays. Materials are more complex. So I think it's more about being better informed than speed of the process.
And I guess it's cut down the need for travel quite a bit too.
Yes, well, as you said, if I may, the face-to-face meetings are very important for Vetaphone. It is, because we really relate to a long-term relationship with our partners worldwide. But you are absolutely right. Preparing is the key, and it can save a lot of time and traveling.
And money.
And money.
Thanks for the moment, Frank. Thank you very much. I'd now like to bring in Jan, the other partner.
Yeah.
Jan, if I can come to you now, this new way of working must have had a fairly serious knock-on effect within the industry. How would you assess it?
Oh, it's changed it in many ways, Nick. We're used to going to trade shows all over the world to show the market where we are and go out and network with the industry. But as you know, the trade shows over the last couple of years, the attendees has been less and less. And now where there are restrictions in travel and even fewer are allowed to go to the expos or the trade shows, we actually took the decision to pull out of all the trade shows of 21 at least. But when we look at how the market and how the industry coped with that over the last 12 months, and we can see it's still very, very positive. So it's been going very good without the trade show. So we see a clear clear road ahead of us now.
Do you see this showroom as a replacement for taking a booth at a trade fair?
Hardly. Trade shows are very good to display our products. We can put them on a static display where people can come and touch them, and we can have a discussion with the customers. But it's very difficult to show what the process actually does. And that's why we have an opportunity here to actually make a live demonstration. We can teach people about what it does and how to integrate in their own machine, their markets, and have the full usage of the equipment, basically.
How would you think you're going to make the best use of the showroom?
Well, it is a part of our information package, so to say. We're a company, as Frank said, we like to share our knowledge. And this is a perfect place where we can do that. We can teach, we can show everything to the customers. And look around you, it's a beautiful place to have this demonstration.
You're quite right. Thank you very much for the moment. Thanks, Jan. I'd now like to go and introduce you to Kevin McKell, who's the VP Technical Sales at Vetaphone. I'm sure many of you know him, and he's going to talk to us about the units and what they do. Mr. McKell, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Nick.
Tell me, what's the basic problem with surface treatment?
Well, the basic challenge that I always see that we have is education. Surface treatment has been around for a long time and is widely used in various parts of the industry, but a lot of customers don't really fully understand it. So if we can educate our customers and bring them to this facility, either in person or virtually, it helps us educate them and give them a better understanding of the technology so as they're better placed to make decisions.
So what sets Vetaphone equipment apart from other people's Corona? Because your implication there is not one size fits all, and they're not all the same.
No, very much not. And that's one of the part of the educational part. Not all Corona's the same. And unless we educate people, then they're not going to understand that. If we look at a typical Vetaphone system, we not only look at the application, we look at the operator and how they're working with it and try and make it as easy as possible for everyone in the process.
Now we're talking obviously narrow web here, these units, where I know Vetaphone is very strong in the Western market. I think you'll claim the majority of the share for label printers.
Yes.
Can you just show us a little bit about this unit here?
Yeah, of course. This, as you say, is one of our narrow web systems. Very typical and common in the industry. Again, as I say, we always look at the process. And one of the things that we're looking at this system in particular is that we have seen recently within the process that the systems are starting to run faster. The presses are running faster. The materials are becoming more and more challenging. So this system here, for an example, we have it as a one unit that the web can pass in through here. It passes over the top of the backing roller, back out through the other side. The electrode cartridge is in the treatment position, allowing continuous treatment. The system now is future-proofing for our customers as they want to go faster, and also when the materials are changing, we're already ready and equipped for those changes.
What materials are you actually using in the unit?
Well, we use anodized aluminium on the framework and stainless steel. Actually, a particular interest is the stainless steel backing roller that we use here. Of course, it would be cheaper to use an aluminium backing roller, but as we're using a Corona discharge, the byproduct of the Corona discharge is ozone. And ozone will create corrosion on a backing roller. That corrosion will create a white powder. That white powder then transfers onto the web. So stainless steel is not cheap, but it's the best.
So it sounds as though the key thing there is not contaminating the web.
Well, we're trying to prepare the web surface the best we can for our customers. We want to give them the best preparation for their ink to stick first time and the right time.
Which seems like a good time to move back to this unit.
Yes.
Because this is all about decontamination.
Well, again, Nick, in the industry, we're not just looking at the systems ourselves. We're looking at the complete process. And to give our customers the best chance and the best preparation of the surface, we also want it clean. Now, there's a number of web cleaning systems in the marketplace, but what we've recently found is that sometimes if there's a lot of deposited silicone coming from a roller, it will actually cause problems with the Corona treatment. Either it will completely destroy the dyne level, or you need to increase the power on the Corona treatment system to compensate for the silicone deposited from the web cleaner. So we designed the web cleaner so that it can run in harmony of the Corona treater. We also link the two together so that we can run off of one display. And when it's time to change the adhesive tape on the roll, then our system will let you know if we link the two together.
So that will be the advantage of buying the two as a package from the same supplier, as it were.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course. It's linking both together. The systems marry up to each other, and you've got one control panel reducing any operator stress, trying to run around on the press, making sure.
Should you always clean before treat, or?
It's our recommendation to do that. Of course, there are customers in the world that don't do that, but the reason for it is when you Corona treat after it, you're creating the dyne level, the surface energy level that will allow the ink to stick. If you do it the other way, you risk reducing that dyne level and not giving yourself as good a Corona treatment.
Okay. This is all narrow web, but I mean that's perhaps what a lot of people know Vetaphone for.
Yes.
But it's by no means all that you do.
No, not at all.
Is this a good time to go and look at the wider units?
Yes. Well, yeah. If we look over here, we have a full range of systems here, and as you can see, we've got the systems here are much wider. typically speaking, we're looking at the range here about 1.4, 1.6 meters, but we can go up in our standard range up to almost 4 meters.
Special applications?
Even wider. We've done systems a lot wider, but you know, from our standard range, we've got that covered.
What's this particular one?
So this system here is actually more designed for the blow film extrusion industry. And again, like I mentioned earlier about the application features, one of the key functions is actually allowing the operator to web up the system. Now, on a typical application, the web would run vertically through this system. So making it quick and easy for the web threading, the web can just drop all the way through the system. You can close the system up and it's ready to go.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Access is key for
Yes.
all of your systems, yes?
Absolutely. I think it's attention to the fine details, Nick. Take, for example, one of the questions earlier about the materials. We use aluminium, hard anodized, and stainless steel throughout. Again, I mentioned the byproduct of the corona treatment is ozone. It's a very aggressive gas. Now, of course, we could manufacture our systems with welded steel frames and paint it, which is okay when it's new, but should that paint chip or flake, that corona treatment will start oxidizing and rusting the actual framework. So it can then start creating contamination issues again. So yes, it's more expensive to make it out of aluminium, but it's just better.
Okay. Can we move on to this next unit? What are we looking at here?
Again, what we've got is a slightly larger unit. Typically, this unit is used in the printing applications and laminating applications, which go slightly faster. The faster units, we go and start increasing the size of backing rollers. We put additional features and functions on, like a nip roller for an example here. And again, we're trying to make the system as easy as possible for the operator. So here you have a maintenance hatch that allows the operator to quickly and easily open up, pull these electrodes out to the side for easy maintenance.
How many electrodes in that one?
So we've got 6 electrodes in the ceramic electrodes in this one. This will allow this system to treat conductive and non-conductive materials.
Right, okay. Any other extras on that we need to know about?
Well, there's a whole host of them, but just to point out a few, we've got an anti-static bar here. That's an active anti-static bar that allows, this is just a customer specific that wants to eliminate any static charge that's on the web. But of course, there's a number of things that we can do to help the customer.
Can we move on to this one? This one looks very different. What am I looking at here?
Well, again, what we're looking at is a double-sided unit. So what we've got is the web coming vertically, comes down, round the roller here, round the first backing roller for treatment, around the second backing roller for treatment, and going on down but both systems here can be treated simultaneously. Actually, and then we've got both systems running from the one control panel. So what you can have is 2 generators, one for each side of the web, and it can be running from one control panel.
That's your ICC7 panel.
Correct.
And how many systems can you run off that?
You can run 2 systems or 1 system, depending on what way you want it set up.
Okay.
And there's some other additional features. Again, you can see here we have the maintenance hatch for easy access. But this system here, again, is designed for the operator in mind. Typically, this would be mounted on a platform. So the operator wants easy access to the electrodes for setting. And in this case, we've got segmented electrodes. So the customer and the operator can actually stand here quite easily, switch off the segmented electrodes at various parts for creating lane treating or the treating in different parts of the web.
Okay. And presumably, if this slides out as well, does it?
Correct. Yeah.
So if the next job requires segmented electrodes but with a different pattern,
yep,
you could have a spare cassette, slide one out, slide the next one in.
The pattern could be already preset on the additional electrode. So you slide it out, slide it back in, your downtime's down to bare minimum.
Okay. And this is a big machine. What's this one here? What's this?
Well, again, this machine, as it's getting bigger, is typically focusing on the different industries. This would be a system getting into more like the coating or the wide extrusion industry. Because of that, the power increases. Because of speed, you need more power. And in this application and consistency here is you've got the water-cooled backing roller. So that would cool the roller to allow so that you're not overheating the backing roller. You can also see that you've got 2 electrode cassettes on this one. So that's distributing the power evenly and efficiently across the web. And again, attention to details, Nick, just to show you that we even go as far as to put a small QR code here. This is, for me, is one of the, as an engineer, I've spent many times looking for manuals and drawings of a system, which generally the system takes quicker to fix than it is to find a manual. But in this case, maintenance man comes up, scans the QR code, he's got the manual and the drawings already on his phone.
It seems that it's all to do with efficiency.
Yes. The efficiency is a very important part of this. One of the things that we're looking at here, Nick, is this is a small system in comparison. So what we can do is it goes all the way up to 4 meters. So when you're looking at a 4 meter width, we would actually then look at these gap adjusters. So the gap adjusters allow the efficiency to be controlled within the air gap. So what I can show you here is if I bring my cameraman around a little bit, I can explain the efficiency a little bit here. So as we have the efficiency going all the way across, if I close this down, the gap within the system is controlled because the electrode gap adjusters can be adjusted to suit. And if I actually just show you here, that gap is so crucial. You can see the efficient corona discharge on the system, giving you complete control of the power. Super. But to talk a little bit more about the power and how the power is controlled, I'll hand you over to Frank.
Well, efficiency is key to a corona and plasma system. That is for sure. It's all about getting all the power onto the electrode system, creating this blue-violet discharge on top of your substrate to get the best possible surface adhesion, correct? Yeah. It's all about that. So Vetaphone has a unique electronic system. It's converting the mains power in the generator to a high frequency signal, again sending that to a transformer, transform the voltage up and sending that to the electrode system. The electrode system is specific for each application and power level. So there is a match of the transformer and the electrode system to get the most efficiency out on the web.
So this is not, again, about one corona system fits all applications.
Correct. That is why the training and the discussion that we have and showing the different models here is so unique.
Can you just show us a little bit of the technology here? I know it's a grey box, but
to start, I mean, again, it's all about power. It's all about high voltage. It's all about matching the electrode system to the actual application, and we're doing that in. Most of that is done inside of the cabinet. But there's no key there. There's no key. Where's the key? Somebody stole the key. Someone stole the key. I got one. Don't panic.
We'll be back soon.
So let's just open one of the generators. All the electronic is actually in a generator module. It's taking care of the power, but it's also taking care about all the electrical signals coming from the 3D station and all the safety aspect. But this is actually the key, creating the corona plasma discharge.
And all of these cabinets are just larger versions of the same thing, are they?
Depending on the demand, more power is needed, and we have power available from 1 kilowatt up to 80 kilowatt in our standard master slave configuration.
Thank you very much for that, Frank. Now would seem to be a good time, because that was obviously a fairly quick overview of what Vetaphone has to offer. Now would be a good time perhaps to take some questions that we've had, and I think, thank you very much. Here they are. And I should have a panel of experts behind me by now, which I do, which is great. Right, question number one. Why is it important to demonstrate the technology? Well, that must be one for you, Frank.
Well, we talked about having this open-minded culture here at Vetaphone, sharing knowledge, right? But that is one thing that can be done on the internet, on a face-to-face meeting. But here we have the possibility to look directly to the model that has been chosen for the customer application. We can show the functionality and all the key things in that model. That's what I like. But there is an add-on. Yep. Because now we have all the equipment here, it's ready to run. We can use that for training of the operators, the maintenance people, and even the support people.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you see the showroom as an extension of the test lab? That's probably you, Jan.
That must be me. Yes, of course, because the lab is right next to this, and this is where we can go in and teach and educate our customers about all the new materials that are out there. We can actually see the dose that is required for their application. And when we know that, we can calculate the size of their system. And as soon as we know the size of their system, we can actually show them exactly here how it would fit into their application and their machines.
Okay, thank you for that. Kevin, sales. How do you see the new showroom being used to the best effect?
Well, Nick, as I mentioned earlier, we want to try and educate our customers. We want to give them the best understanding of corona treatment and let them make the best informed decision. With the showroom, we can bring our customers here in person or virtually and help them make the decision and educate them on the corona treatment necessary for the process.
Taking the technology to them effectively.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. Jan, I think this is you again. Do different substrates require different treatment?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, we see a lot of new materials in the market right now, and that they're changing basically week by week. So the lab here is showing us and keeping us updated and current with the market situation. And we see a lot of environmentally friendly materials coming, and we see those who want to be and those who really are. We see these monolayer packaging coming up, and there are often a little skin layer on, and we need to examine those all the time. So that's the lab that we do here. So the education here is very, very important. If we make the curves about each material, we can actually help our customers take a wise decision on what to buy.
I've got a question of my own that follows on from that, actually. Should one assume that two rolls of the same material will behave the same?
No, not at all. And if you have watched my previous webinar, you'll see people often think PE is PE. But when we put it in our test lab, we can see there's a very big variety of those things. So by testing it is so important if you want to have a trouble-free production run, because they're not alike. They're different. Even though it says PE, it's not always PE. Then there's a different additive in. And if you don't know the material curve of that material, you end up having trouble at the production run. So it's necessary to know your material.
So test, test, and test again.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that's good, I think. Last one that we have time for today. Oh, this is you, Kevin, for sure. This is from a customer. How do I go about arranging an online demo?
Well, Nick, I thought we would try and keep this as simple as possible. So like we've tried to show you, all our equipment is simple. So we did the same here. Go onto our website, vetaphone.com, and you can book it directly from the website, or you can just contact your local area sales manager and they'll help you out.
Thanks for that. Gentlemen, thank you very much for that. Well, unfortunately, that's about all we have time for today. We haven't attempted to answer some of the more technical questions that you sent us because we feel that they would be better answered on a one-to-one basis. So if you'd like to get in touch with us afterwards, and please use sales@vetaphone.com, that email, sales@vetaphone.com, then we'll send that question to the most appropriate person to answer for you. I hope you've enjoyed today's event as much as we have and found the information useful and interesting. I would say, from a personal point of view, that I notice an essential part of the Vetaphone DNA is a research and development. They're innovators, they've always been innovators. Today's showroom opening, I think, is just another link in the company's information chain that already includes technology webinars, online training sessions, the company website, obviously, and social and trade media. And at this point, I'd just like to say a personal thank you to all of my friends and colleagues in the trade media who've joined us today. I hope you found it really interesting. If you need any more information, you can get it on the website, or you certainly know how to contact me afterwards. At a time when travel has become very difficult and the whole process of investment in capital equipment has changed, I think the opportunity to take technology out to the world markets is an invaluable asset, and one that you've seen Vetaphone launch here today with their new showroom. I hope you've enjoyed it. On behalf of us all here at Vetaphone headquarters in Denmark, thanks very much for taking the time to tune in. I wish you a very good day, and it's goodbye for now.